Reading a tension swatch. You make a tension swatch to ensure that your pattern works out perfectly each time. Your machine should come with a gauge scale. In this case, it's green. Let's start with the stitch scale. You can see with our tension swatches that both ended up being 32 stitches. However, the rows did not work out the same. This time we had 49 and 39, so I had to make a third swatch. I did write down my numbers for reference. So let's go on to the third swatch. This one ended up being 43. That's a lot better number. This is the knit contour, and it is the same on all Singer knitting machines. The magic number is from your rows count. So this first sample I'm going to do will be a set-in sleeve for a toddler, maybe 5-year-old at most. I have my card. I've done my third tension swatch, but we're going to pay attention to these first reading here. And I'll show you how I put it in. So the first thing you notice is this knob, which is either going to be able to go this way, which is counterclockwise, or clockwise. You must make sure that this knob is turned to 0. Some of them actually still have a marking on them. Mine does not, but I guess I could make one right now. So I'm going to do that. So I got my Sharpie, and I'm going to make a little dot. This is 0. If I have that at 0, then this one will turn. Now, I have this little tiny arrow, and there is a little tiny arrow right inside, is set at 49. 49 is the number I got on my scale for the rows. So R49. I have it set for 49. Now I'm going to try and zoom in on that knob one more time. You can see how this knob has 61, 120, and then 30, 60. Because the number 49 is between 30 and 60, I only turn that to the 6 o'clock position instead of the 9 o'clock position. So 6 o'clock position. The R and the F stand for reversing and forwarding on your pattern paper. 30 to 120 is all the markings on this dial here. And if I turn this to 0, you can see that you have 2 sets of numbers. So up to 60, and then from 60 over 60. When you get them that are over 60, so 61 to 120, and you put the knob at 9 o'clock, then that'll feed the paper even slower so that you get the proper size pattern, proper size piece for your pattern. These paper scales are half scale. Now let's talk the papers. This one is a child size, so C1. It has a filled in section, which is 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 on up. What you need to know the most is that 0 to 1 and 1 to 2 is for mock rib. I use it a little bit differently. I go, this dark section is for my 1x1 ribbing. I then use this 1 to 2 as a way of lengthening my project. I find that these patterns are a little shallow or narrow. So there's a lot of belly buttons showing. So I add my length here. That extra band I find works wonders for making these sweaters more of a 2022 type length. These papers you follow as your carriage goes across. The pattern paper feeds, and it gets to a point where you have to do a reduction, let's say for the armhole. This is also where we're going to start patterning. I've already marked that. So we reduce for the armhole, and then we go straight up, still following C. As you see, they're clearly marked. And then we'll do a shoulder reduction. And when we get to 4C, which is the neck reduction, we will do something a little bit different. So I'm going to take you on this journey of building the front of this child's sweater. And we're only going to do the really, really hard part first, and then we'll do the easy parts last. Let me back everything up and show you how I knew where to place my pattern. What is the best way to determine where you start and stop the ladder back jacquard? Well, the easiest way I know is to do what is called a dry run. So I know that my settings with my little card that I created say 49. So I set my row counter to 49. I then line up where I think I want it to start. And for me, 1 second. Okay, we're back at it. So we need to reverse this. Now I am going to start my patterning at the armhole decrease. So right here. And I also know that my actual pattern is only 23 rows. So what I'm going to do is I've already reset my row counter to 000. I'm going to trip the knit leader 23 times. So here we go. And remember that I am also at 49, which was my row count using my scale. 1, 1, 2, 3. So here is where my pattern actually ends. When I am done my jacquard, or ladder back jacquard, I will actually roll this pattern back to this line and start the secondary color from there. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it will when you see me run the video. There are 7 stitch scales, and each of them have 4 numbers on them. Locate the number that matches what the green scale gave you, and then you will have flawless width of your pattern. You should also get 6 with black dots on them. Those are for making pants. Those have a 0 in the center, and then the numbers are on either side. Here's the list of patterns that should have come with your machine. In the next video, we are actually going to knit the hardest part of the sweater.